I completed my CCNA. So I'm here to share all my knowledge and experience to all of you guys. And also I have taught over around 400 plus students, helping them to achieve their CCNA and various other certifications. So with that, I'll be starting the session with giving the introduction of what we are going to discuss for the next few days, few months. I think that is the right word, I guess. Okay. So any questions you have at any point of time while I'm explaining what we are going to discuss, you can always ask me. But I would suggest to ask it at the maybe I'll let you know when you can ask so that the flow will not be disturbed. Okay. So once we have the time, we can all discuss. Like you have ample amount of time to discuss all the questions which you have. Okay. So with that expectation, so let me share my screen and start. Okay. So people who are joining this particular course, okay, or this master's program, okay. So my assumption is, okay, most of the people will have this question like, okay, do I need to know something for this, or do I need to prepare something for this? The answer is no. Okay. So we are going to start everything from scratch. That means I'm not going to make any assumptions about you that, okay, if you want to join this course, you have to know this, know that. Nothing. Even you can be like coming from some different department. That means, let's say, not you are not related to IT. Let's say you are into some hotel management or something else and wanted to transition your career into this. Even this particular course is going to help you also. That means we are going to start right from the scratch with no assumptions. Okay. So with that said, before going to discussing what all we are going to discuss, let's answer some few basic questions. Okay. Okay. We have to discuss about that also, like what is CCNA, what we are going to discuss. But it is also important for us to understand very minute details or very small basic things so that the rest of the topics which I'm going to say, like show to you here, basically, this is our content which we are going to discuss for the few months. Okay. So whatever is displayed here, if you want to understand, you have to understand this particular diagram. Okay. So with that, anyone knows what I'm showing it to you guys? Like, can anyone guess what is this? Like, or anyone have ever seen this particular diagram or
Fiber
in,
network है क्या?
sorry, Shubna?
Hello,
Oh, yeah.
this is fiber network.
Yes, it is a fiber network.
Yes.
Exactly. Perfect. Okay. So this is actually how we are connected over the world. Okay. So that means so somewhere I'm in India. Okay. So, I mean, most of the people who have joined are from India. So that means all the data from the India should exit from one of these points. Okay. If you see in India, you have four exit points, one in Mumbai. Okay. And if you go a little bit down, you have one in Kochi. These are the major ones. The one in the Mumbai is a very major one. Okay. So that means most of the world is connected to that one. Okay. And these are also major, but not comparatively to the Mumbai. Okay. So you have one in Kochi, one in this place called as Trivandrum, one in, I don't know how to pronounce it. You got people who knows who can pronounce it. Okay. And one in Chennai. Okay. So these are the exit points. So that means entire internet generated in the India should exit from any one of these points. Okay. So if you ask me, am I going to work on these cables? Because like, am I going to learn everything? What is how the data travels into this thing? The answer is no. Okay. So see from here to the one, so that is totally called as optical networking. Okay, which is a different science together. Okay, it's not any IT course; it's a science together. Okay, because we use light signals to send the packets or our data from one part to another part. Okay, so then what are we going to exactly learn here? Okay, see, you are sitting somewhere inside the India. Okay, so from here, let's say you're sitting somewhere in Bangalore. Okay, I hope it is here. Okay, so from here to here, how the packet is going. So that means you sitting inside your home, how are you able to send this packet to these any one of these 4 points? That is what you are going to learn through the CCNA. Okay. So that means, okay, these 4 points it will take, and it will, because these are connected to the entire world. Like if you want to go to Africa, you can connect, you are connected. If you want to go to the right side of your world, you are connected. Okay. So basically, India is connected to the entire world using these exit points. But how being inside India, how being in your home, you are able to reach to these one of these exit points is all about CCN. Okay. So with that particular basic explanation, I will introduce a word called as network. So here we build inside India. Okay. We build something called as networks. Okay. If you ask me what is a network, okay. So network is nothing but a collection of devices. Okay. It can be as big as the entire India and as small as your home network. Okay. There are no boundaries. Even two devices are, if you connect just two devices, that is also called as a network. Okay. So when you say that, okay, this is a network, that doesn't mean that you need to have a very huge amount, like thousands of devices connected, and you should not, there is no such thing called as like you should have a data centers, all these together. Yes, these are also networks, but it is not, that is not the network. That is not only the network which we have. Okay. So even like, for example, let's say you connect your Bluetooth, right, to listen to the song. Okay. So like your Bluetooth headset or earphones or whatever it is. So even that is a network. You're connecting your phone to your headphones via Bluetooth. So that means you are sharing some information by connecting two devices, and that itself is a network. Okay. So that network can scale from two devices, and it can go as long as there are no boundaries for it. Okay. The entire world is the boundary. Okay. So this is what we are going to discuss inside the CCNA through various topics. Okay. So at a high level overview, this is what we are going to discuss. Like how can you, okay. So basically the person who takes care of all these are called as network engineers. Okay. So network is there, and the people who manages them are called as network engineers. As simple as that. Okay. If you are aspiring to be a network engineer, okay, or much more levels, which we are going to see. Okay. What is the career path in this particular thing? That also I'm going to explain in this particular session only. So the stepping stone is network engineer. If you want to be someone who is managing this network, okay, if you want to be working in a company managing their network, okay, so it's not easy, right? Because see, in your home, maximum how many devices will be there? It will be like maybe four persons are there, assuming that four persons have mobile phones, four laptops, and some random devices. So max to max, some 15-20 devices will be there in your home, considering that you are so far, I mean, electronic family. Okay. So managing 15 devices is not a big task. Okay. So again, it also requires some amount of technicality, but it is not a big task. So you as a network engineer is not so, I mean, here the technology which you are going to learn is not related to your home network. So these topics which you are going to study in the CCNA will help you to design and understand how to do the networking in the industry. That means the enterprise customers, the service provider customers, the data center customers. So how the things are working, because you cannot correlate your home network to the data center or an enterprise network because they are very large. Okay. Because you can expect like thousands and thousands of devices there. Okay. So how the things will work there, all those things you have to understand if you want to become the network engineer and manage those networks in the production network, in the production environment. Okay. So for that particular thing, what are the topics which we are going to do it is as per the CCNA curriculum. So these are the topics. Okay. So we start with absolute basics. Okay. So no, as I said, no assumptions made. So even if this particular at any point of time, if you have any questions during our sessions, okay. So how my sessions goes is generally, because I have been taught over 400 plus students throughout my career. So my sessions are very simple. Okay. So I will explain for 30 to 35 minutes or 40 minutes, depending on the topic. Okay. And immediately I'll give a break. Break in the sense, like not a break, but like a space to ask the questions for the people. Okay. So there is no time limit here. Okay. So let's say if the people have more and more number of questions, I'll just stop it here and answer all of those questions. Okay. So this is the pattern which I follow. I explain the topic and immediately I'll answer all the questions to all the participants. Okay, irrespective of no constraint. Because at the end of the day, you guys have to be confident. Because I know all of these things. I have 6+ years of experience. I know in and out of it. I've been managing so many complex networks. Okay, so I know about all of this. My goal here is by end of this course, you guys have to be confident in these particular topics. And the best way to get that is asking questions. Okay. So I would highly advise each and everyone. I think 21 people are there in this, 21 or 20 odd people are there in this particular session. I'm not sure how many people are going to come into the thing. But everyone, please do ask the questions as. So there is no question like dumb question or basic question or do I have a meaning if I ask this, like, is there any meaning to this question? No such thing. Okay. So I would request everyone to ask as many questions as you have in your head and get them clear. And once you leave the session, you have to leave the session with confidence, not with some doubts. Okay. So and also this is from my end. Okay. So my end, I'll explain the topic. I'll also help you with answering all of your questions. From your end, you have to practice the practice because it's not just about listening and leaving. Okay. See, there are many people who knows this topic. So if you want to stand out from that crowd, you have to practice. Okay. So these are the two things. If you can do this particular thing for a prolonged amount of time, you will be successful. Okay. So it's as consistency is a formula for the success. So if you are able to do the small things for a prolonged amount of time, you will get the success. That is the formula of the success. Okay. So with that saying, okay, so let's just go through the topics which we have in CCNA. So this is the official certification guide, okay, from Cisco. It's not written by me or someone else. Okay, it is official certification guide. So we will be starting with the basics. So part one is going to be the basics, okay. So where we are going to introduce all the terms related to the networking, okay. So people who have some amount of introduction to the CCNA will understand all these things what I'm going to talk about. But people who are just starting will feel a little bit confused here because you're seeing all of this for the first time. Okay. But don't worry. When we discussed all this part, okay, chapter 1, 2, 3, you will understand the rest of the things. Okay. But whoever is already in the industry, they might know, okay, what is LAN, what is VLANs, what is STP, what is IPv4, what is routing. These keywords people will know. Okay. But again said, I'll be discussing everything from the scratch, so no need to bother or fear or be confused if you don't know anything of what I'm showing you on the screen. Okay. So this is the part one of our CCNA. So where there are two volumes for CCNA, volume 1 and volume 2. So in the volume 1, we have the introduction, then followed by the switching. Okay. So switching is nothing but the technologies which run on the device switch. Okay. So you might ask me a question, what is a switch? Okay. The switch is one of the networking components. For example, let's say if you want to make a call, you need a phone. Okay. Without phone, you cannot make a call, right? So this is the equipment which helps you to do the phone call. So similarly, if you want to connect, so like in the previous map, we have the India, right? You're here. How are you going to go here? Like from here to here, you won't have the direct cable, right? So there are some set of equipment which helps you to take this packet or data from here to here. Okay. So one of that particular equipment is called as a switch. And the technologies which runs on this switch are called as switching technology. And those are VLAN, STP, Ether channel, all those. Okay, I don't want to go deep into what these are at this point of time because this is just an introduction session. Okay, but yeah, so this is going to be the switching section. Okay, so then we will be having the routing section. Okay, so again, switching is related to switches. So there is one more devices which we have in our network called as router. Okay. Again, they have different set of responsibilities. So switch has its own responsibilities and router has its own responsibilities. Okay. So both of them differ. Okay. And the technologies which runs on the switches are called as switching, which are VLANs and all this stuff. And technologies which runs on the routers are called as routing. Okay. So here we have the technologies like OSPF and the basic static routing. Okay. So these are some of the topics which we are going to learn with respect to the router. But before that, we need to understand. So before going to the routing section, because routing is heavily depend on something called as IP addresses. In IP address, we have two versions. Okay, so if you ask me what is an IP address, it's like a name to the device. For example, let's say there are 20 people are there. So how can I call someone? For example, I wanted to pick one of the candidates. So if I want to call that candidate, I will use the name of the candidate to call that person, right? So that's how we identify a physical form of a person. Like if I want to call that person, the name is the identification which I use. So similarly, in the network, if you want to send the data from here to here, okay, so there is so many devices, right? So how do you identify this exact device? So there is a device called as A, there is a device called as B. So there are so many other devices also. But how do A identify B? So for that, the name B is the answer. So similarly, here we have two ways of identifying the device. Okay, one is like IP address, another is MAC address. Okay, so in IP address we have two versions: IP version 4 and IP version 4. Okay, so we are going to completely understand what are the differences between these two and how to write this or how to design an IP address in detail. Okay, what are classful networks, how subnetting is done, all these things will clearly be discussed. Okay, so let me check the chat. I think we have a few questions. Do we have WhatsApp? Uh, uh, it's the day one. Okay, we don't have anything like that as of now. Okay, so then we are going to discuss about. So once these are completed, then we are going to discuss about something called as wireless LAN. So that means, see, there are two ways in which you can connect to the internet. One through wired, and another is wireless. Mostly all the mobile devices will connect to the internet or connect to this so-called all the devices through wireless. So it is very important. So right now, most of the people, I could say most means like 99%, most of the people would connect to this particular thing wirelessly only. So that means in your home, there will be an access point or some kind of device. Okay, most of the people call it as a router. Okay, but it is an access point. Okay, so you will be connected to that access point, and that access point will help you to take that data, whatever I'm saying, reach to your home. Okay, so how the packet is getting transmitted to your laptop wirelessly, that means without any connection, is what we are going to study in this particular part. Okay, so once this is completed, part one of the CCNA is going to get completed. Then we will be going into the second part of the CCNA. Okay, which is volume 2. So here mainly we are going to discuss about the security. Okay, so in the first section we are learning how to build the network. Okay, so once we build the network, we have to focus on how to secure your network. That's it, right? Like let's say you are building a home. So first in the initial stages, you will focus on building your home. Once your home is ready, then you start adding the doors, windows, and all the security systems. Am I right? Similarly, also in the part one, we will discuss all the technologies to build our network. In the part two, guys, please be on mute. In the part two, we are going to see how can we secure our network. Okay, so that means, see, we don't want everyone to come into our network and do whatever they want to do, right? So we have to be good enough. So we don't allow anyone to enter into our home. Similarly, we should not allow anyone to enter into our network. So if you don't want to do that, how can you secure your network is what we are going to discuss here. Okay. Then the next thing is IP services. So here, the main thing is about monitoring your network. So that means how can you monitor your network? What are the different kinds of technologies which you have to monitor your network. For example, let's say you have a device, router. Okay, you want to get immediate alert like whenever this router goes down. So how can you do that? Okay, or you wanted to prioritize certain kind of traffic. For example, let's say you have a voice traffic. Okay, and you have let's say some web browsing. Okay, so let's say in your home, one person is talking on a call. Okay, he's using VoIP, so which is voice over IP. Okay, so he's talking to someone over the call, and this guy is doing web browsing, which is important to us, the voice. Correct. So how can you prioritize this? So that means you want to give the more priority to this than this. You don't want these to be on equal because for you this is important, right? Because if right now I'm talking to you guys, okay, it is coming in the real time. But what if it is coming with a delay? For example, right now I'm talking, and if you receive that after 5 seconds, that is not a good experience, right? But if you are browsing a network, okay, and or if you're browsing something and if it comes after 5 seconds, it is okay for you. I mean, 5 seconds is okay for you, right? So that's like how can you prioritize your network? So there are different types of net traffic, like there is voice traffic, there is data traffic, there is web video traffic. So there are different types of traffic. So how can you prioritize your traffic? That you are going to study in the QoS and some other technology. Okay. And finally, okay, so we have something called as network architecture. So that means how can you design your networks as a good network engineer? What are some of the, see, you can build a house. Okay. So at the end of the day, anyone can build, I mean, any engineer can build a house, but who will build the best house will be a good engineer. Okay? It's not just about building the house. Building the best house to the network is a to the customer is the best thing. So how what are the some of the principles which we have there that you are going to study here? Okay, we have something called as cloud, all those things, okay, related to the architecture you are going to study this. And finally, the most important thing and the most demanding thing, which is related to the automation. Okay, so how can you utilize automations? Okay, again, we are not going to discuss from scratch how to write the scripts and all, but what is automation? Why people are so much talking about automation, how it is making an impact, what are the different technologies inside that, that we are going to discuss here. Okay, so we are not going to discuss about the Python and all, but yeah, this is what we are going to discuss. Okay, so with this, I'll take a pause and I'll take all the questions for all the people which you have till now. So you can unmute and ask the questions one by one to avoid the conflict. I think few people raise the hands, so whoever it is, like they can come up and ask the question. Achut, I request you to be on mute and turn off the video. Yeah, any questions? Nitish, your sound clarity is not clear. Okay, is it for everyone? Guys, can you please confirm? Is my voice clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Clear.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Safina, I mean, in case if you have any questions, you can ask. Like at any point where you missed my voice, Anifa. I'm sorry, I misspelled it. Thank you. Come on, guys. Any questions? All clear? In case if it is all clear, you can just reply that on the chat so that I know you understood everything. So that I know the pulse. Either it is should be clear or should not be clear. If it is clear, regarding the CIDR, Rupesh. What is your question, Rupesh, like regarding CIDR? Sorry, I didn't understand. Any questions you have regarding the CIDR? or you want to know whether it is covered in this Cisco or in this course or not? If that is the question, yes, we are going to discuss clearly about that step by step. Like if you want to know where, at what point we will discuss, we will discuss it here. And we are discussing IPv4 address. Okay. So in this chapter, 11, chapter 11, 12, 13, 14. So during this time, we will be discussing that clearly. How can we use IP and all that we will discuss when we are discussing the topic. Okay. Everything I will explain, like how to assign an IP address to the device, and then how the device will take that IP address and generate the packet, and how to view those packets, and how to take the meaning out of those packets. Everything will be discussed. Okay, so this is a place where to ask all of your questions is regarding your course. Okay, so once the course, I mean, we start the course, everything will be discussed into this. Okay,
So Vivek here.
Vivek.
So how the practical sessions would be conducted? Like once you explain, like will we get any access to any particular lab so that we can
Okay,
practice?
okay, good question, good question. Thanks for the question. So the thing is, as far as I know, okay, so there's a free, I mean, from the networking, you can confirm it. Okay. So, but we have this particular software which is free of cost. Okay, it is called as Packet Tracer. Okay. So regarding the lab access, because I mean, it depends on the program which you are in. Okay. So the best people who can answer that question is networking. Okay. So when I say networking, it's like the people who are taking the course should contact your counselor, because for every person who joined this session, for everyone there will be a counselor. So you can talk to that counselor and check whether what access you have, because my job here is to come and explain the thing, and also if you have any questions regarding the lab also, I'll be clearing that. Okay. So regarding of giving the access to you or not, that I'm not involved in. Okay, that depends on the counselor. Okay, so I mean, you can get that clarity with the counselor. That's what mm, I want to say to you with it.
And
Okay,
sir, will you give us any like an assignment or any work after the class, small, like we can refresh those concepts based on those.
definitely. I mean, definitely. See, so one thing here is there is no strict thing like I have to just follow this one and all. Okay, see, I'm
Mm.
ready to expand for you guys. Okay, so as I said, my primary goal is to not just complete the course, but make you guys confident. So if you guys are curious enough, definitely I'll be helping you in all the ways which I can. But I cannot push you guys, right? For example, if no one is interested in doing the assignment, then I cannot push you. But let's say if not right now you asked me, so can we have a assignment? Yes, I will
Mm.
definitely help you. Even if it is one student, I will definitely help. But that intent has to come from you guys. Okay, I cannot push because all of us are grown individuals, so there is no need. I hope there is no need for anyone to push anyone, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
I have one type of question. If the
yeah, please.
course is completion, any kind of certification you have to provide in your site or what?
So you are saying, you are asking that will the networking give a certificate once the session, I mean, course is completed? Is
Yeah.
that the question?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I think they will give. But again, you can check that with your counselor once again, because any of those stuff related to the access and the certificate related to that, you can check with your counselor. Okay. Anything
Okay.
related to the course, you can ask me. I'm here to help. All the questions related to the course, like what topic and anything, like how we do the practicals. We do as I said, we do the practicals using this particular software called as Packet Tracer. So you can install this on your
Sir,
local laptop. Okay, so I'll share the topology which I have used in the lab. So for example, for every topic which I complete, immediately I'll do a lab on that. So if you guys want that, I will share that lab also to you guys. Okay, so like that, I will be sharing all the material which I use in the one. So I will also share these two books to you. I mean, these are official Cisco things. Okay, so it's not something which I have got. So if you see, official certification guide. Okay. So yeah,
And it is daily basis or only weekend or week?
weekdays 9 o'clock,
What is the timing?
9 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock to?
10:30. So depending on the topic and the amount of questions which you ask. But ten
Okay,
thirty,
fine.
you can say 10:30. 9 to 10:30, you can keep it.
Okay,
9 p.m.
thank you.
IST to 10:30 p.m. IST because we have people from across the world.
Okay.
Also, sir, like when we go to the interview, right? Like they ask us some like real-time scenarios. So you are an experienced person, right? So would you like also give us some real-time scenario also once your this course is done, so that like we have
Definitely. See,
confident.
one more thing is all the labs which I'm going to do are based on the real-time scenarios. Okay. So I'm not
Okay.
going to do something which is like just for the namesake of the lab. Okay. So I'm going to take my experience and put them in the form of a lab and then explain it to you guys. Okay. So through the labs only, you will be getting exposure to the real-time scenarios.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions? Anything you can ask. We still have so much amount of time.
So, sir, one more question just wanted to ask with you. So
Mhm.
you will explain us and then we'll have to refer this book, right? For revision if you want. Correct?
Yeah, you can
And
refer
do
to
this.
this, or you can refer to any other material if you have. But this is the one which I follow.
Okay.
Okay, and this is the main exam book. That means for the main exam. So in case I don't know whether you will be going to take the exam or not. In case if you take the exam, the questions will be coming from this book.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Sir, any WhatsApp group created till now? No, there is no WhatsApp group created. Maybe once maybe slowly we will create it for the communication and all. Okay. So after successful completion CCNA after 3 years, if I need to pass again, yes. If you pass the exam, it will only be valid for 3 years. After 3 years, either you can go, okay. So I can take up this question and explain the next part. It is Cisco certification part. Certification part. Okay. So if you ask me, okay, so some people might have the question, okay, what after CCNA? Or where should I focus? Or how should I know what should I do? Okay. So the answer is this one sheet. Okay. So here you are at this point. Okay. So you are right now studying about the CCNA. Okay. Which is the associate level, which is the step one. Okay. So before that also it is there, but these are not that much valued exams. Okay. So these are recently came, which is like these are for the college students, not for the working professionals. Okay. So for them it is there. Okay. But as a working professional, if you want to enter into this particular field of networking, okay, so you need to start with the associate level. So this is a basic where you're going to study everything related to the networking at a basic level. Okay. So once this is completed, you have something called as professional, where you can choose between these tracks, which is enterprise, service provider, data center, security, and collaboration. Okay. So if you ask me what are these things, these are like branches. Okay. So see, even when we are studying, we have many branches, right? Like MPC, BIPC. So there are many things. Okay. So like science part of it and this part of it. So similarly, the networking also, the way we do the networking in enterprise network. So when I say enterprise network, the companies like Google, Amazon, all those are called as enterprise network. And when you see the service providers, the companies like Reliance, Jio, and Airtel and Vodafone, all these are service providers. And the data centers like Azure, AWS, all these are data centers. Okay, and the security. So you know security, right? I don't need to explain specifically about what the security is. Collaboration is like these things: Zoom, WebEx. Okay, so we have Skype. All these comes under the collaboration. So once the CCN is done, okay, so you will be ready to go into the what do you say? The market. So that means you will be eligible to start applying for the jobs. And once you join the particular job, okay, so you can design, okay, if your company is an enterprise company, then it is good to go with the enterprise track. because it is aligning you to your company, right? So in case tomorrow if you want to get promoted, you join the company, but that is not where you stop, right? So the next step is to get promoted. So if you want to get promoted, you need to do the things which are aligning to your company. You cannot join an enterprise company and do a data center certification. That is not, at the end of the day, data center also have value, but that is not aligning to your company, right? So your company is going towards the enterprise, but you did the data center. So that is one way of designing where what you wanted to do in these 5 tracks, like depending on the company and also your personal interest. Okay, let's say you don't have the interest in going towards the security, but you are more interested in enterprise networks, then you can perform this. Okay. So one thing is your personal interest and what what gives you the best results. That means in terms of opportunity or in terms of pay, you should have a reason for that. Okay, because these are not easy certifications. Okay, so you need to spend some amount of time, at least 6 months amount of time to clear these particular certifications. So 6 months of giving your valuable time on this certification should have a value. Okay, so after this is done, then the final stage is CCNA. Okay, so this is the most one of the hardest exam in the world. In the entire world, there are only 70,000 people who are CCIE. In the entire world, not even India, like entire world. Just 70,000, 70,000, which is 70K. So it is one of the most hardest exam and it is not at all easy. It will at least take 2 years of time to clear it. Okay. Very tough exam, but very rewarding exam. So if you are someone aiming to get somewhere around 50, 60 lakhs of package per annum, okay, being in India, so this is something, this might be your end goal. If you reach here, then you have the chances of reaching to that particular package. So there are people who takes 60, 70 and 80 also, depending on the company and the requirements, okay, who completed these particular things. Because there's a scarcity. There are only 70,000 people in the entire world to complete this certification. And there are so many companies in the world. So the people are less, the demand is more. Automatically, your pay will be high and your opportunity will also be high. Okay. So yeah, so this is your path. Okay. So and any of the certifications which you do are only valid for 3 years. So let's say if you complete CCNA, after 3 years it will expire. So if you don't want that to expire, either you have to rewrite the CCNA exam once again, or if you write any CCNP exam, for example, let's say you completed CCNA and you return this particular exam, for example, okay. So then your CCNA will automatically get renewed for next 3 years. Okay. So that is one of the options which you have. Either you do it once again or you do a high level certification so that this will get renewed automatically. Similarly, the same. Once this is written, again you'll get it for 3 years. Either you write one more higher level of exam or you write the same exam once again. Depends on what you want. Okay. So this is the list of the things. So these are related to the automation and DevOps. Okay, so this is purely networking. All these 5 tracks are purely networking. But if you are someone who is interested in automation side, so then these are the tracks. Okay, so this is the career path which you can see. I mean, this one sheet is enough for you to design your career. Okay, so this is with respect to Cisco. Okay, but you can also do the other certifications related to Palo Alto. That is one of the good things. Okay. You can also get one of the cloud certification. Again, it is personal interest. Okay, so it's up to you what you want to do with your career. Okay, any questions?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, during this course period or lab classes, can I experience real devices like managed switches, routers?
You will get the experience of that in the software. That means I told you, right? This particular software is there, which is packet tracer. So all those things will be present in that software. But if you ask me, do I get the hands-on on the real devices which are for real, then the answer is no.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
But can I see the in the virtual, right?
Yeah, virtually you will have the access to the switches, routers, wireless access points, everything. But if you want a real device, that is not going to happen.
Okay, sir. Okay, thanks, sir.
No problem. Any more questions?
So, while doing practical, if we get like stuck or if we have any error, like can we share the screen after the session and you can help us?
So as I said, like my approach is going to be like whenever I'm teaching, I want you guys to the 100% because if you do multiple things on that particular time frame, what happens is you won't have the concentration. So when I am doing it or when I'm explaining it, I want all of you guys to just listen to me and not do anything. Not even take the notes. I will share the notes whatever I have. Okay. So you all your 100% attention has to be on the screen whenever I'm talking, and after that you have to clarify your doubts. Maybe later you can do the practice, and if you have any question in that, like when you are doing in my absence, you can always ask that question at any point of time in your in like throughout the course. For example, let's say today I did a lab, and after session you practiced it and you had a doubt. So the next day you can do it, or let's say after 2 days you do the practice. Third day you can ask me. Okay, that time you can share the screen and ask me, I did this and this didn't work, or what might be the reason. That is possible. But when I am doing it, I want all of you guys to just listen to me because doing multiple things doesn't yield anything. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Is there any other uh, like lab access apart from Cisco packet tracer?
That you have to check with your counselor, as I said. Okay. Because it depends on your program which you are in. Okay. I don't know which program you are in, and I don't know what access they are providing to which program. Okay. So I would request you guys to reach out to your counselor or call to that number which they give, and then get it clarified. Okay, because I don't want to give the wrong information to you guys.
Okay.
Any more questions? Cool. Is that, can I take that as all good? So can I know all of your responses on the chat, please, whether you're satisfied with all of your questions or how it is? Just wanted to know the pulse of the session. So go to the chat, like Zoom, we have a chat, and you can just mention whether all your doubts are clear or what it is. Clear, sir. Okay. Vivek, Priya Balan. Nice. Two people have answered. Others, if you guys have, you still have the time, I can wait here and answer your questions. If not, just let me know on the chat that it is clear. Everything is clear. Great. Now slowly started people doing it. Yes. Okay. Course duration, it will be around 6 to 8 weeks. Okay. Why I'm saying 6 to 8 weeks? Because I can complete the course in 6 weeks, but the 2 weeks I'm keeping it for the doubts because if some of the sessions if I cannot complete it, I have to answer most. If most of the people have the questions, then I have to answer those questions, right? So I'm keeping 2 weeks of buffer time for me because I don't want to be in a rush to complete this course. In short, I want to go with the flow and answer all the questions and then go to the next topic. Because if I keep the target, I should cut off the questions and then go to the next topic. So, in short, to answer your question, 6 to 8 weeks if you want to plan anything. Any more questions? Come on, guys. All clear? Can we close the session?
So, sir, after complete the lecture, so can we get video recording?
Yeah, you will get the video recording on your portal. Okay.
Okay.
Like